Alicia Silverstone just dropped a nuclear bomb in Hollywood's lap, and all hell is breaking loose. She released the hospital bed confession, where Courtney Love admits she's been addicted for years to the pure liquid rush of adrenochrome. She says it's 100 times better than heroin.
Okay, guys, so she thought she was dying and poured her soul out, confessed to everything, and it's all on tape. It's insane and disgusting. So yeah, don't say I didn't warn you.
Courtney Love's hospital bed confession gets even worse. She admits on tape that she ate dozens of children to prove loyalty, to stay in the Illuminati. That tape is now public, and all hell is breaking loose as we speak. Courtney's response? Instagram post, damage control, full meltdown, threats, the works.
I almost died. I lost all my hair. I was about 100 pounds. And they told me I was going to die.
Make no mistake, Hollywood is terrified. They've buried this story so deep, even most of the industry doesn't know the full truth. But we have the confession, and we're going to expose the scandal that dare not speak its name. Before we dive in, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and join the People's Voice Locals community to join our incredible community, support the channel, and gain access to exclusive and uncensored content. Courtney Love has been hiding in plain sight for decades. First, she was exposed in Jeffrey Epstein's Little Black Book. Her name was circled with multiple contact numbers, meaning she was a key contact. Then, the Epstein files dropped, and she was exposed as one of Hollywood's most prolific cannibals, who spent years indulging her appetite for the sickest vices known to man, child meat and adrenochrome. Fast forward to today, Alicia Silverstone just took to Instagram to release a leaked video featuring Courtney Love in hospital, writhing in pain, believing she's breathing her last breaths, and confessing her most depraved secrets.
So Courtney Love is dying of Kuru, you guys. The cannibal disease, the one that eats freaking holes in your brain, like literal holes. And the only way to get it, eating infected human flesh. That's the only way, period. So, do the math.
We've got Courtney's hospital bed confession coming right up. But first, Alicia explains why she had to share it with her most loyal supporters and those who are determined to hold the elite to account.
Look at the symptoms: blindness, hair loss, wasting away. Same as Ariana Grande, same as Celine, same as Ellen, same as Demi. Exact same, you guys. And I think we need to talk about this, actually talk about it.
The same industry elites who flew with Epstein, partied in his circle, and sustained their youth through the worst crimes imaginable, are now facing a reckoning, both private and public. Brace yourself. We're now seconds away from the moment the mask came off. When Courtney Love thought she was taking her final breaths, when she thought that she was seconds away from being dragged straight into hell for all eternity, and when she broke completely and confessed the truth. But first, just quickly, the internet isn't a wild frontier anymore. Israel has infiltrated the world's leading VPNs. ExpressVPN, CyberGhost, Nord Private Internet Access, and dozens more. As for Proton, it's funded and controlled by the World Economic Forum. Using legacy VPNs in 2026 is wiring yourself straight into the surveillance matrix. That's why we're revealing the first trustless VPN, vp.net/TPV. Trust is obsolete. This is math, next-gen privacy that makes spying impossible, even for the people who built it, even for the feds. And trust me, they've tested it. Came up empty every single time. How do you think we're still on the air? Sign up today at vp.net/TPV. Now, back to Courtney. She wasn't suffering from some unknown illness. She was in debilitating adrenochrome withdrawal. Kuru had begun eating her brain from the inside out, destroying her body, her mind, and what was left of her soul. In that raw, terrifying moment, she admitted everything.
I ate children. So many kids, man. So many. And the blood? I drank so much blood. It's better than heroin. Like 100 times better, 1,000. I'm so fucked. I'm so fucking fucked. I'm gonna burn for this. Oh, I know I am.
Courtney didn't die. She didn't meet her maker. Not that day, at least. Because Hollywood has an emergency cure. Fresh adrenochrome from highly terrorized child victims. One dose, and she was back on her feet, feeling like $1,000,000.
You want to sue me? Okay, fine. Let's do discovery, because I know everything about that hospital visit. I have the receipts, like actual receipts. And when we release the rest of this tape, Hollywood is gonna burn. And I'm not even kidding.
Courtney didn't waste a second. Monday morning, the damage control machine kicked in. Emergency Instagram posts, narrative spin, and full crisis mode. She admitted that she almost died in 2019. Carefully chosen words, carefully crafted confession. Just enough truth to bury the rest.
I went to England in 2019, and when I went there, you know, my body just exploded. It just exploded. And I was in hospitals a lot. I almost died. I lost all my hair. I was about 100 pounds. And they told me I was going to die.
Exact same symptoms. To those who are not in the know, the post looked innocent. Album update. Nothing to see here. But then, she started speaking in code words. The same cannibal language that spilled out of the Epstein files. This is where it gets really dark. You don't want to miss this. But first, an important word from our sponsor. Courtney Love didn't just eat kids to stay in the Illuminati. She was a participant in an industry built on their suffering. An industry promoted by Hollywood, protected by the media, and enabled by the powerful names redacted in the Epstein files. When she talks about red, by the way, she's talking about blood. Child blood. The devil's narcotic and forbidden elixir of the elite. Described by Celine Dion as pure liquid rush.
I used to pattern interrupt the adults, and they'd tell me red. They'd say red was blue, and then I'd see blue, but blue was blue. So now that I gaslight myself that maybe they were right and red was blue, and then I would see purple, and my head would explode. Fucking cope with that shit, right? I think some of you can relate to that. And then, anyway, I never really lost my ability to see that red was red, despite them telling me that red was blue. And so when they said you're going to die, I just didn't believe it.
Courtney Love was speaking in tongues, and the inner circle was listening. And then she lifted the veil, the industry's brutal structure. Submit, sell your soul, or get erased. Courtney lived it in 2009, and they humiliated her, left her for dead. So, she got back on the horse, and the sacrifices began. Rituals, ceremonies, and what she calls red, child's blood, started flowing again.
2009, I put out a record, it flopped. I mean, spectacular, humbling, playing a place called Pizza Hut Park at 11 a.m. while Limp Bizkit was headlining with 30 Seconds to Mars. That shit's humbling. But, I just wasn't public about being sick. I don't want to be public. I'm fine now.
She says she's fine now. She's wrong. The disease is in her body, and she sold her soul to the darkest force in the universe. And her attempts at narrative control are failing badly. The truth is, her entire world is falling apart as we speak. Earlier this year, a bombshell forensic investigation has revealed that Kurt Cobain did not commit suicide. He was murdered. After a fresh review of the autopsy and crime scene, the forensic investigators declared it was a staged scene. They list multiple red flags, including the position of his hands, the lack of blood, and the post-mortem inconsistencies, fueling claims that the original ruling covered up a murder.
We know that Kurt and Courtney had a prenuptial agreement. They were in the process of getting a divorce. This was confirmed. They were divorcing. He was leaving her. If the divorce had gone through, she would have received a very small settlement as a result of the prenuptial agreement. When he died, she co-inherited an estate worth possibly more than $1 billion in future royalties.
She also stood to earn an even greater fortune from the satanic system that she was infiltrating, working with the likes of Jeffrey Epstein and Marina Abramovich, and the trafficking industry. If Courtney thought the forensic investigation was bad news, we're here to deliver even more. The Epstein files revealed decades of communication that she never thought would be made public. We now know she invited Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell to Nirvana's iconic MTV Unplugged gig. Buried deep in the Epstein files, A deposition by Paul G. Cassell, a district court judge, names and shames Courtney Love as an Epstein accomplice involved in trafficking children. Asked if he was inferring that Courtney Love was involved in some kind of sexual abuse of minors, Cassell, the Utah judge, replied, "I would infer that if I were running a criminal investigation through the FBI and I'm trying to find people who would have relevant information, she would be one of the people I'd want to talk to. I mean the names that are circled here," he said, referring to the small group of Epstein's closest confidants, those listed in his little black book, with their names circled. Of course, that was 2015, so the legal system protected the elite paedophiles, and the child traffickers were free to continue their vile activities. As for Courtney Love, the skeletons in her closet are rattling, and according to a paralegal involved in that case, her crimes don't stop with murder and trafficking.
Courtney's ties aren't just to Epstein's sex ring, they're a cult. She's part of that shadow elite, the ones who dabble in the profane to justify their depravity. It's a religion to them, a way to transcend morality. And the cannibalism, that's the heart of it, the unspeakable core that even Epstein's emails only hint at. I saw all the evidence, pieced together from cursed journals that hadn't been released in full. He wrote about it obsessively in his final months, fragments of madness that we tried to use as evidence of duress in the will contest. One night, high on whatever cocktail Courtney fed him, mushrooms laced with heroin or something, he stumbled into a private room at one of her parties. There she was, surrounded by the occult inner circle. The big money guys, A-list directors, even a senator whose name I'd be killed for mentioning. All the people he hated. And they were feasting, not on caviar or foie gras, but on flesh. Human flesh. Courtney, at the center, delicately slicing into what Kurt described as a small, pale limb, a baby's arm, roasted like veal. He thought it was a hallucination at first, the drugs warping his mind. She let him believe that, toyed with him for months. "You're losing it, darling," she'd whisper, gaslighting him until he questioned his own sanity. Therapy sessions organized by her, doctors on her payroll, all reinforcing that it was just a bad trip. But he pieced it together eventually. He started digging, confronting her in rages that left bruises on both sides. That's when he realized the truth. They all do it. Cannibalism as the ultimate right, consuming the innocent to absorb their vitality, their purity. It's their sacrament, binding them in blood. Epstein's Island wasn't just about sex. It was a harvest ground. Courtney confessed it to him in a moment of cruel honesty, how the network procures delicacies from the trafficked. Babies sometimes, for the highest ceremonies. Kurt was horrified, but more than that, he was a threat. He started talking to friends, hinting at exposés. In Hollywood, they pressured her to end it. He was becoming unstable, a liability in an industry built on illusions. So she had him killed. Not with her own hands, of course. Too clean for that. The industry closed ranks. Media spun it as another tragic rock star downfall. Courtney walked away richer, more powerful, her secrets buried with him. But among the industry elite, it's an open secret. You know how people say someone would sell their own grandmother for fame? That's nothing. These people sell their own kids.
In March, Silverstone posted a chilling message that sent shockwaves through social media. All your worst nightmares about Hollywood are true. Days later, while promoting her sci-fi film Begonia, she doubled down, stating flatly that most conspiracy theories about this industry aren't theories at all, they're facts.
What's the craziest conspiracy theory that you've ever heard?
I just love that a lot of conspiracy theories end up being facts.
Since then, she's been on a generational run, following Justin Bieber in hosting late-night Instagram sessions with trusted fans, releasing the results of her investigations into the Hollywood elite paedophile ring. If we don't expose this evil now, the next Courtney Love will simply be better at hiding it. The next Ellen will not be kicked off the air. The next Celine Dion will be able to continue drinking child blood by the gallon, destroying young lives without consequences. The time to tear it all down is now. This is our duty. Here at The People's Voice, we're determined to continue exposing the agenda of the elite, but we need your help. Subscribe to the channel, spread this video far and wide, and join the People's Voice Locals community for exclusive and uncensored content. I hope to see you there.